Hello, everyone. This is Ted Williams here, and I want to take a few minutes to talk about the policy that is coming out of the White House surrounding legal immigration. So the White House and the Republicans in Congress have put forth a plan that is designed to cut legal, not illegal, but legal immigration by half in the next 10 years. They're making changes to the green card program with the design to bring in more people who speak English, bring in more people with high wage jobs and high levels of skill. And ostensibly what they're arguing is that they don't want to have as many low-wage workers coming in because low-wage workers are a drain on the economy, they're a drain on government resources, and they also compete with Americans for low-wage jobs. And so by doing this, we're protecting Americans and giving them an opportunity to have these low-wage jobs. Okay, so that's the stuff that's on the table. That's what the idea is. And let me say this very clearly. I tell you all the time as I make these videos, it is very important that we are not partisan. In politics, there are no friends, no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. There are only permanent interests. I can agree with Republicans, Democrats on a variety of things, but this thing makes no sense whatsoever. First of all, let's debunk a few myths. Number one, immigrants who come into this country typically come in with higher levels of education than Americans do. About 40% of immigrants that come into the country come in with a 4-year college degree. Americans, less than 30% of us actually can boast that. Now, the fact of the matter is that immigrant communities in the first generation actually do pose some level of drain to the social services. So about 50% of immigrants who come into the country, first generation, are draining social services in some way, shape, or form. Only about 30% of native-born Americans are. This is actually true. The Trump administration, the Republicans are right on this, but here's the reality that people are missing. Second generation, they bring in billions of dollars. They bring in, I think it's somewhere around, actually, I'll just check this number to make sure I'm right. It's $30 billion. Then the third generation, they are a net asset to us by $223 billion. So what I'm suggesting is that, yes, you may have initially some challenges, but immigrants have done nothing but bring wealth to this country for forever. I mean, if you think about this. So also, if you look at the two fastest growing economies in the world, they are India and China. They are the places with the largest numbers of people. People in our country actually help to build the economy. We ought to not be xenophobic and think, oh my gosh, the Mexicans are coming, they're taking our jobs, we got to fight. African Americans have to fight this, European Americans. Why don't we figure out a way in this country, this wealthy country, that we all actually can make money? There's enough wealth to go around. Why is this conversation, why is it coming out of the White House, hey, we want to keep the low wage jobs for you poor folks, because we don't want anybody competing with the low wage jobs? Why don't we look at trying to get these folks out of low-wage jobs? Why don't we look at trying to get folks who are in low-wage jobs who've been in this country for 4, 5, 6, 7 generations? Why don't we move them with education and other resources to another level so they're not competing with low-wage workers who are coming in from other countries? Now, the other thing I want to say about this, and I could talk about this for a long time, I really purposely try to keep these videos very short because I think it's important for us to communicate quickly on this, and then I want to hear your comments and that sort of thing. We got to be very careful about putting English restrictions, merit restrictions on immigration. From 1791 to 1952, the United States government had restrictions, naturalization law restrictions on who could come to the country based on race. This is a big thing that I think is very, very tragic. And to me, if you think about it, it harkens back to the days where we said, hey, if you're from this country and your skin looks like this, then you have more value. If we're saying now that you have more value if you speak English, do you recognize that the numbers of countries that speak English typically align with sort of racial conversations, right? So if you look at, one of the senators said, hey, well, are you going to just do this for the British and the Australians, etc.? And someone goes, well, that's offensive. That's not true. But the fact of the matter is that, of course, that English is a national language in Great Britain. So obviously, there's going to be many less barriers for someone to come from that country than if they were coming from Thailand, for instance. So we've got to stop this, and we've got to understand facts. And America is better because of its diversity, not worse. We should not be threatened by folks. We ought to work together. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. Have a great day. Hit me in the comments section. Take care. Bye-bye.